when everything seems lost, is it? Why does it get worse before it gets better? And where do you and I fit in all of this? As we've surveyed the book of Daniel, it is obvious that conflict and trial will continue till the end. But there will be an end. That is one of the key affirmations of the book. There may be unprecedented trouble, and the opening of chapter 12 says as much. But in the midst of it all, there will be deliverance. The backdrop of suffering and distress makes it appear as if evil has triumphed. Just before the Lord stands up to defend his people, the king of the north appears to be victorious. He is very close to complete triumph, but he comes to his end as there is no ally to help him. The focus takes a decided shift at this point, from the beasts and the other symbols representing institutionalized oppression to Michael, the great prince. Michael stands up for his people. The language applied here is telling. The words used for the great prince is the Hebrew term for an army commander. What he does when standing is to take a military position, prepared to defend his ground. But this expression also reflects the language of the Day of Atonement, when the high priest stands before God on behalf of the people. Psalm 1 points to this. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. So the action of the great prince, or Jesus, standing for his people, indicates that in him, his people are innocent. Remember how in previous chapters Daniel prayed for forgiveness for himself, his family, his kings, and his nation? He read from the prophet Jeremiah that the trouble the nation faced was because of their insistence in following idols rather than God. The exile that Daniel experienced was as a direct result of God's judgment on a nation that had rejected him. So we see a world around us that has rejected God and wonder why things are just getting worse all the time. Maybe God is ringing bells and using flashing lights by these events to warn us that very soon he will stand up for those who confess his name and who throw their dependence on him. And what about all the time prophecies mentioned in this chapter? Time, 2 times and a half, 1290 days, 1335 days. It seems foolhardy to brush them all aside. When something is mentioned 2 or 3 times, the old maxim kicks in of a reliable testimony coming from 2 or 3 witnesses. So please don't find yourself in the seat of the scornful just because it is popular to do so. These times are all interrelated, so do your homework and see how they connect with the previous 2 time periods, the 2,300 days and the 70 weeks. At their simplest level, they affirm that the reign of evil is about to time out. As Daniel expresses it, that is when the shattering of the power of the holy people comes to an end. And that is made possible only by the great prince standing for his people. So why does it seem to take forever before he stands up? I don't know. I'm not God. But in God's good time, he will do what he promises. In the meantime, I can rest in the assurance that at the end of those timetabled days, I will stand in my allotted place. And that promise is for you too.